Thank you for the opportunity. The last conversation that I had with my dying son, 14-year-old, with cancer, 13 years ago, after praying on that night, he asked me, "Mom, how can I become more aware of the presence of God?" That was his last question. So I remained silent, and then I answered, "There's nothing that we can do, only to ask, and it will be given to you." And he didn't say a word. He just moved his hand and kind of grasped what was in the atmosphere, and he just grasped it, smiled, and gave me a hug. So I felt I needed to share this to you and with the audience tonight. And my question, Eckhart, is what's the relationship between the ego and consciousness, stillness, while we are sleeping, especially at night, long sleep, and our mind is active, and we are dreaming, and we feel that is a reality, but sometimes we are aware it's not a reality. But I want to continue in that reality. I feel magnetized. So what is that interaction that is happening there?
Thank you. There are two dimensions to sleep. One is when you're asleep and you're dreaming, and the other one is normal life, where there's also identification with all the things that the mind produces, and there's a connection, of course, between the two. The focal point of what we do, of awakening, is to awaken in the dream that is called ordinary life. And the presence that comes into your life through that, which is a disidentification from the mind patterns, the mental, emotional conditionings, the ego, which is identification, complete identification with the mind, which is ego. That may also have an effect eventually on what happens in your dreams. It may transform the nature of your dreams. Your dreams may become more benign or more pleasant, and you may find from time to time, or more often, within the dream you suddenly become aware that you are dreaming. It can be quite nice. But the most important thing, of course, is that you become aware in ordinary life that you are dreaming when you are dreaming, when you're totally identified with the mind, to become aware then. And then that awareness may come into the dream also, and suddenly you say, oh, I can do anything, it's only a dream. Usually soon after you wake up. The ego gradually diminishes as you stop identifying so much with the mind, and that is one of the reasons why the nature of your dreams becomes more benign, because the ego lives in a violent reality. There's enemies, and there's fighting and defensiveness and aggression, and that is reflected in the dreams. Many dreams arise. There are often there are emotions associated with dreams. We tend to think that what we feel when we dream is emotions that we have when we dream is caused by they are caused by the dream. But they are not. It's usually the other way around, that the dream is caused by pre-existing emotions in you. The mind is trying to explain the emotions that you feel, and it creates images as explanations for the emotions that you feel. This is the genesis of many dreams. When you look at it afterwards, it looks as if it were the other way around. I felt fear because I saw this dreadful monster running after me in the dream. I felt real. No, the monster, there was an emotion of intense fear in you. The mind didn't know what to do with it, and then it created an image to correspond to the emotion. And that image became the dream. It translated the emotion into an image, and it became, so you saw it there, and then you confuse, of course, cause and effect. The dream is the cause of the underlying emotion. The underlying emotion is there because of the egoic consciousness that creates an unpleasant reality and creates many negative emotions that are completely unnecessary, but they're created by the ego with its paranoid delusional systems and many other dysfunctions. So that is interesting because it can also be applied to everyday life. I saw, for example, dysfunctions in human consciousness. I observed a person who suffers from paranoia. And paranoia means you see enemies, or you feel persecuted by people or groups of people, or followed. You misinterpret reality. And when I looked closely at this, I saw that there was intense fear in that person. And the fear was so much, the fear could not be explained by the reality around this person, because the reality around this person was fine. The mind had to explain the fear. So the egoic mind came up with a delusional system and says, I am fearful because of this person who is following me. He wasn't, he was just walking. And I'm fearful because these people are watching me while I'm here. They're here, they belong to this conspiracy of government conspiracy. They have a whole department wanting to control me. And that's why I feel this fear. So again, it's the other way around. And then eventually that person ended up with at least 100 people in full-time employment in their view, just to follow me and to control me. They're all around me. The government must be spending a lot of money on one person. But that is because the fear came there. The mind attempted to explain the fear and came up with that delusional system. So that's the important thing is presence in the dream of ordinary life, that bring presence into that more and more. And that will change also the nature of the dreams that you dream when you're asleep at night. We have two dream worlds here. But for your focal point must be the dream world of ordinary existence.